Well, this is the second time now we've been able to have an inside look at President Trump's cabinet meeting, all his various secretaries flanking the table there. This time, Elon Musk not standing in the corner, but sitting at the other head of the table. Do we really get any headlines out of this meeting? No, but definitely a lot of love for President Donald Trump. Let's bring in our Capitol Hill correspondent, Jay O'Brien, also our senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang. Selena, I'll start with you. There were a few secretaries that mentioned a few things that were cut and some things that they're looking on and touting maybe some numbers that are up and prices that are down. But really, what are the takeaways for you?
Well, Kira, I think the dynamic in that room was fascinating. You had the cabinet level secretaries all heaping praise on Elon Musk, and one of the secretaries even criticizing the media, saying that something they've gotten wrong is this potential tension between those cabinet secretaries and Musk, saying that we get along very well. Now, this comes after a few weeks ago we had reported on a cabinet level meeting where Musk was present, and we were told from sources that there was some tension and heated moments in that room, especially between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Elon Musk, with sources telling us that Musk was accusing him of not being aggressive enough with his cost cutting. We're also told that in that last meeting, President Trump stepped in and he said that these cabinet secretaries lead their agencies, not Elon Musk, that he's just there for recommendations, but they call the shots when it comes to those hiring and firing decisions. So very much today, though, those cabinet secretaries publicly heaping praise on Elon Musk, saying they are on the same page about those cost cuts. Another notable moment, though, Kira, was when President Trump said he acknowledged that it's, quote, not popular to make cuts and conceded, quote, I have no idea how it plays out in the public. Then he concluded it has to be done. This comes, of course, as we've been reporting on some of those tense town halls that both Republican members of Congress and Democratic members of Congress have faced. And as recent polling have shown, that Americans are really split on the effect of these DOGE cost cuts. And one last point, Kira, also Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, making clear that DOGE is about trying to find waste and abuse, and for any of that fraud and abuse, she said that they are going to be pressing charges. They are going to go after that.
All right, still not a lot of specifics, Jay, except Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem did double down and reiterate what the president has asked for, and that is getting rid of FEMA. She said she is going to do that. But again, here's another situation where you need congressional approval.
Yeah, she used the word eliminate, and she's in charge of this process here. Remember, Kira, because FEMA falls under the Department of Homeland Security, which Secretary of Noem now leads. But here's the thing about FEMA. FEMA was created by an executive order signed by President Carter in 1979, so it was created not by Congress, but then it was affirmed and firmly established by Congress decades later in the wake of Hurricane Katrina, when Congress passed post-Katrina reforms. You might remember that effort because you covered that story extensively. So FEMA was created by Congress long after the fact, but now there is legislation firmly placing FEMA as an agency that is under the direction of the Department of Homeland Security. So just like the Department of Education, you can't get rid of FEMA in theory without some kind of an act of Congress, which requires legislation going through the United States Senate, and that would require at least 7 Democrats joining with all Republicans and voting for that measure. And we haven't heard any Democrat get on board with either those efforts or the larger effort here of DOGE to remake and overhaul the federal government. So a lot of these designs on changing the very fabric of the federal government that the president and Elon Musk have are going to run up against various walls, whether that's congressional action that needs Democratic support that's not going to happen, or the courts, or things of that nature. So the rubber will meet the road with a lot of these changes in some form or fashion. And the question remains is, how much is the administration going to try to push through those hurdles and still try to enact those changes, even when they run up against Congress or the courts?
Jay O'Brien, thank you so much.